Hello, all you beautiful people out there in YouTube land. My name is Paul Workman, and welcome to my Sundance Adventure Special. Benjamin Banks isn't the only one on vacation this week. I hope he enjoyed his birthday. Well, I'm out here in beautiful Park City, Utah at the Sundance Film Festival, where, as you can see, snow is covering the ground. And I am going to see so many movies this week, you guys. I can't wait for you to follow me. All right, we got that shot. All right, babe, let's go on home. We'll get some hot chocolate. It was a cold day in Park City, Utah, where I obviously was, and I thought I'd start my Sundance adventure by heading to my first theater. I must have shown up early, or possibly written the address down wrong. Hello? So I headed on to the next theater. Well, let's say that experience was just about as good. After a couple of fairly disappointing visits to the movie theaters, I moved on to a theater I knew would be open. One that was comfy and cozy and had all the amenities I needed. And of course, there was already a crowd waiting there for me. Hi, doggies! Hi, doggies! Made my way into the theater, found my seat in my auditorium. Let me just say that the theater staff there was very friendly. It was time to start my Sundance adventure. Okay, hi. I just finished my first program. I figured I'd come in and I'd give you my first takes on everything I watch. The first program was the animation short lineup, which was 9 animated films, short films, that were just pretty much all excellent. They were in order: Cocoon, which is Korean for Dreams, a stop-motion animation film I really liked. The Fire Next Time, about the 2011 London riots. I really liked that one. Ghost Dog, which was a weird, surrealist nightmare. Misery Loves Company, which was depressing and relatable, and I enjoyed it a lot. GNT, which I got a couple of good laughs out of, so I really enjoyed that one. The Fourfold, which was a gorgeous stop-motion animated film that I think if you ever see it somewhere, just give it a shot. I liked it a lot. Trepanation, which was about depression and the filmmakers struggle with that. Really liked that one. Souvenir, which was probably my favorite of the 9. About a young French man trying to connect with his grandfather over his grandfather's time in the Algerian War. Loved it. It was one of the longer ones, so it got a stronger narrative. Excellent. And then Little Miss Fate, which was weird and fun, and I liked it. Probably caused little ripples among people, but I enjoyed it. So that was it. That was my first piece of Sundance programming, and I'm very excited to continue. I've got to go do a couple things, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to watch some more short films before they finally start premiering films at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will give you my first reaction to my first film after 8 p.m. So thanks. Back with another update today. I meant to be doing these as I watched the films so that I had fresh takes, and I watched 3 films and 2 shorts programs today, but I kind of stacked them up in a way that I wasn't able to break away from the films. I really wanted to watch them, and I really wanted to get this done so I could go to bed, because it is about 1:45 here. Okay, so first I watched the shorts program number 1, which included BJ's Mobile Gift Shop, a film I really enjoyed. I think was really good. Five Tiger, one I liked but didn't love. Yoruga, one I thought was really cute but not great. Bruiser, which was really good. Flex, which is probably the only thing I watched today that I didn't like. Bambarak, which was really good. And Don't Go Telling Your Mama, which was right up there with Souvenir as the film I liked the most I watched today. At least the short films that I watched that I liked the most. Those are all really good. The first movie I got to watch today, because they started all the movie programming at 8 p.m. First movie I got to watch today was a film called Coda, about a young girl in a deaf family. She's the only one with the ability to hear, and she loves music. And so It's the struggle of her wanting to do something she loves, but trying to keep the family happy. It's a film I really liked. Writer-director Sean Heder did a great job. I love this film a lot, and I hope it goes to streaming or theaters real soon so that you get to see it. Preferably streaming. We still do have a pandemic. That's why I am in this theater. The second movie I got to watch was Questlove's Summer Soul. And mascot of Oscar Worsty Podcast, Zaphod Beeblebrox, has joined me for this one. This is a documentary directed by Amir Questlove-Thompson. It's a documentary I really liked. It's about the 1969 Harlem festivals that were held during the summer of 1969 in Harlem over the weekends. Apparently they were shot and then buried in a basement for about 50 years, and now they've resurfaced, and this documentary exists, and it's excellent. I think Questlove crafts a beautiful narrative around it, and again, if this gets to streaming anytime soon, please watch it. It is excellent, and I think it should have a lot of eyes on it. The last film I got to watch was a midnight horror film called Censor, and it was about a woman who is a censor in the 1980s during the videotape revolution in England. And she has a mysterious past that comes back to haunt her. It is interesting. It's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I didn't love it the way I loved the other two, but it's a film I think took some interesting twists and turns and ended in a really good place that kind of made me love everything before it. The performances are good. Particularly, I just think it's a good film. It wasn't gory enough for my taste. I was hoping for a little more wildness, but, you can't win them all, which is just in the horror genre. I tend to prefer a lot of gore, especially in a film that is about censoring gore. Now, there was some. It was good. There are some interesting and inventive kills in this one, but for the most part, just a good film. So check that one out. Probably be on Shudder pretty soon. Let's hope. So that was my day one. I'm going to head to bed now. I have to work in the morning, and then I'm going to get back to watching movies as soon as I get home, take a shower, and just am able to relax. So see you for day two. Bye. All right, so just watched the film Human Factors. It was a German-French family drama with a little bit of a thriller aspect. It had me riveted to my seat the entire time. I absolutely loved it. I think the performances were top-notch. The directing was beautiful. It had a shifting timeline that I really enjoyed. And you follow a bunch of really interesting characters who all feel like human beings. Honestly, I'm going to give this one 4.5 stars. And we're going to move on to the next film. So just finished Cryptazoo, which is an animated film by an animator from Richmond, Virginia. So as a Virginian, I was obligated to watch it. It was fine. It was violent. It was weird. And I don't know. It was just okay. Don't really know what to tell anybody. Had a good voice cast. The animation was interesting, and it was bizarre and kind of fun to watch. But the story itself was a little droll and boring, and it wanted to be something more, and I liked what it was trying to say. So I guess I like the idea more than the execution. I'm giving it 3 stars. Moving on. Rita Mourinho, just a girl who decided to go for it, and it was cute and it was fun. And I guess if I'm going to watch a puff piece on anyone, I'm happy it was Rita Mourinho, because she is delightful. She's wonderful, and I'm giving it 4 stars. Moving on. Yeah, John in the Hole is weird. And now I'm afraid I'm going to be drugged in the middle of my sleep and thrown into a hole by one of my sons. Hey, I'm giving that 5 stars. That film is great. So it's the beginning of day 3, and last night I forgot to do my short synopsis review of On the Count of 3, which is the debut writing and directing feature of Gerard Carmichael, which I thought was a really good film. I thought it had a lot to say about depression and anxiety and abuse and where those kinds of things lead. And so if you get a chance to see this one, I would highly recommend it. It's dark, though. It's really darkly humorous, and there's a lot of content warnings that go along with it. So if you enjoy the kind of film that this is, please catch it when you can. I'm giving it 4 stars, and I'm moving on.
Oh, you're a good boy. You're such a good boy. Oh, you're a good girl. Oh, you're so good.
So it's day 3. I started out my day with another shorts program. It was shorts program number 2, one I really enjoyed from start to finish. Short number 1 was a film called White Wedding, about a young woman inviting her estranged father to her wedding, and it's really good. Highly recommended. The next one was Lata. It was an Indian film about a young woman cleaning houses. If you get to see White Tiger on Netflix, it has a lot to say about the Indian caste system, and it is excellent. In the Air Tonight was a weird fictional story about the film In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, and it uses it as a backdrop, and it was wild. I really liked this one. Mountain Cat was, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what country it originates from, but it was a nice piece of art that had a lot to say about death and our acceptance of it. So The Affected was a really good film about keyboard warriorism and social justice, and how we all like to think we're the hero until something heroic. We are faced with something heroic and fail. It's really good. I really like that one. Raspberry is the single funniest thing I've seen in Sundance so far, and I laughed. I mean, it's probably about a 5-minute short film, and I laughed through about 3 of them. It was incredible. I loved it. And then Unlivable was it's a Brazilian short film that takes place in 2020, just before the pandemic, and oh boy, it hits hard, guys. I liked it a lot. I'm sorry I'm not going into a lot of detail about these things. I got so many things to get through, and I wish I could. I wish I could do long reviews about all of these, and we'll see where we go. I got a lot of movies to watch today. I'm hoping to get through maybe like 8 or 9. We'll see how today goes. I'll see you after the next movie. Moving on. Just finished the HBO documentary In the Same Breath. It is a documentary about the similarities between the American and Chinese propaganda regarding the coronavirus. You guys, it's excellent. Everybody should watch it. Especially, it's probably going to end up on HBO Max soon, so I highly recommend this one. Seriously, I'm here in the comfort of my own home watching a film festival because of this. This is real. Please continue to wear masks, wash your hands, socially distance, stay home when possible. Can we please take this seriously? It's a little sensational of a documentary, which is why I'm going to dock at some points, but it works and it gets its point across. I'm giving it 4 stars, and moving on. How much did I love Street Gang? How we got to Sesame Street? Well, this is one of my childhood Sesame Street books that I passed on to my boys now. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be objective about this film. I love Sesame Street. I love everything about it. The moment I hear any chord from It's Not That Easy Being Green, I'm gone. I cried through like half the movie. I'm giving it 5 stars and moving on. So I got in kind of a rush, and I had to watch 3 movies back to back to back, and then my wife told me to do the dishes. Well, let's see, I watched Wild Indium, which was a great narrative feature about the cycles of abuse and violence in Native culture. I thought it was really good, and I thought it had a lot to say. Some people didn't seem to like it as much. I gave it 4 stars, and I moved on to, which was a documentary about a school in San Francisco that has a majority Asian American student body that were a group of overachievers that were mostly taking advanced placement classes, trying to get into college in their senior year. I thought it was good, great. It did have some emotional resonance toward the end. Mostly, I liked it. I didn't love it. Gave it 3.5 stars. Moved on to Edgar Wright's The Sparks Brothers, which is a documentary about the band Sparks and their prolific career for 5 decades. It's incredible. I hope it hits streaming services very soon, because I would love everyone to see it. It was about 2.5 hours, but it was worth every second of it. Please see Sparks. I'm giving it 5 stars. No, giving it 4.5 stars. I took off a little bit because it was still kind of a fluff piece. I like fluff pieces, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. Just watched 8 for Silver, which was a supernatural horror period piece about British colonialism, and it was fine. It had some decent gore. Performances were good, and I don't know, there's just something lacking in it. I liked it, but I'm going to give that 3.5 stars. I'm moving on. Alright, it's 1:40 in the morning. I just finished my 7th film of the day. It's called Coming Home in the Dark. It was a kidnapping thriller. There's pretty much 4 characters in the film, a couple of side characters. It's good. It's a good movie. I highly recommend it, but I'm so tired right now I can't give it a full review. So I'm literally gonna go sleep on it. Then I am gonna go ahead and give it 4.5 stars right now and move on. Alright, so I just watched One for the Road. It's a Thai-American film about a young man going back to his home to help a dying friend. It was fine. The performances were pretty good, and it was a little too long for my taste. I mean, it was only 2 hours and 16 minutes, but it felt like it should have been much shorter. I'm going to go ahead and give that 3 stars, and I'm moving on. Just finished watching In the Earth, a Ben Wheatley film I really, really liked. It's probably my favorite narrative film I've seen so far this competition. It was grotesque, it was tense, it had some decent moments of gore. It was just good. It was a good movie all around. I highly suggest it. Hopefully it'll be coming to VOD soon. So right now I'm thinking I'm calling it my favorite film of this festival so far. So, all right. Well, I'm giving it 5 stars. I loved it a lot. It might just because I'm a big Ben Wheatley nerd, but who knows? So, moving on. So, just finished The Dog Wouldn't Be Quiet. It was an Argentinian film done beautifully in black and white. Another pandemic film. So, it's like the 4th or 5th pandemic-related thing I've watched since the festival began. I think it was sweet, it was emotional, and it had a lot to say about parenting in tough times and raising children when the world isn't quite right. I'm going to go ahead and give that one 4.5 stars. It was a little short. I like the way it jumped around to time. Honestly, it was a beautiful film. So 4.5 stars. Moving on. I really liked. It's probably my favorite. Hi, it's Paul from the future. I just realized I forgot to record 2 video reviews for 2 films that I watched. First, How It Ends is a comedy about a woman walking the streets of Los Angeles on the last day of the Earth as a meteor is coming towards it. I thought it was okay. Zoe Lister-Jones co-wrote, co-directed, and starred in it, and it was fine. It was mostly a vehicle to have a bunch of celebrities do some kind of acting during the pandemic, and it looks that way. It's a bunch of sketches that are very loosely put together. It was okay. I think I gave it 2.5 stars, and then I moved on to Mayday, a fantasy war film about a young woman that ends up in a fantasy land fighting alongside a bunch of female soldiers. I thought it was fun. It was interesting. It was aesthetically beautiful, and it reminded me a little bit of Sucker Punch if Sucker Punch was a little bit better. So I gave it 3.5 stars, and now I'm very sorry about this. We're going to move on back to the video. And that's Zaphod Beeblebrox at the door. So I got to go get that. It's late. I'm very tired. A couple friends and I went and watched a few films at my wife's photography studio tonight with a projector on a wall. It was really cool. I forgot to bring my microphone and my camera stand, so I didn't get to do all the fun stuff I wanted to do there because I was kind of in a hurry. So I apologize for that. It was going to be a lot of fun, and I messed up. Anyway, we ended up watching a fantasy film called The Blazing World, which I thought was beautiful. It was captivating and a lot of fun. It kind of reminded me of what if Alice in Wonderland was directed by Tarsem Singh or Guillermo del Toro. I believe I gave it 4 stars. Then we moved on to a comedy called Mother Schmuckers, which was pretty much the bastard offspring of a John Waters film, and I hope John Waters is proud of the legacy he hath wrought, because this film was wild. It had us in stitches. It was only about an hour and 10 minutes, and it was just the silliest thing I had seen in a while. I think I gave that also 4 stars because I laughed through pretty much the whole thing. I realized it wasn't a very good movie per se, but I enjoyed it. The last one we watched was First Date, which was a really interesting film about a young man preparing for his first date with his longtime crush. And he ends up buying a really old car that seems to be wanted by everybody in the city he lives in. It was really precise and well done, really well edited, really well written. The performances were all pretty fantastic. Honestly, I think I also gave this one 4 stars. It was just a really solid night at the movies, and I'm sorry I messed up and forgot to do all those things. So now I'm here at my desk recording this. I would like to thank my couple of friends who came and joined me for those. We stayed safe, and the studio is big enough that we were able to social distance. So please don't worry about that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have 3 days of pretty much just jam-packing movies into the rest of my time here. I'm going to be watching quite a few films. I have work every day, and once I get off work, it's pretty much going to be films from the time that I get home to the time that I go to sleep. And, in between, I still have to be a father, so I'm probably going to stop doing first takes. You can go over to my Letterboxd, which is here above me, and look at my rankings on these if you would like. For those of you who don't want to go to my Letterboxd, which, I understand. If you don't have a Letterboxd, it seems kind of silly to go there. But here's what I watched on day 5 and my star ratings for those. Here's what I watched on day 6 and my star ratings for those. And here's what I watched on day 7 and my star rating for those. I really want to say thank you to anybody who watched to the end of this video, anybody who enjoys film and has ever wanted to do Sundance. If they do a virtual Sundance again next year, I highly recommend it. I paid more money than I would have really liked to have this privilege, but it really was a privilege, and I really enjoyed myself. So thank you all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave some comments down below, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I know the guys are at Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks are doing a lot of incredible stuff, and I really enjoy what they're doing, and I really appreciate them letting me do this. So until next time, have a damn fine day.